Hi everyone. Now, I very rarely get a chance to tie sort of old or classic style salmon flies now, but I'm going to be tying, this was a request I got, I've had it 2 or 3 times, for a fly called the Dallas. Now, it's a Spey Fly, believe it or not, and it's a Spey Fly tied without bronze mallard, meaning like most of the Spey Flies you'll ever see are tied using a bronze mallard wing. This one has a turkey wing, so it's a lovely pattern. And I mean, there's that many dressings online telling you how it should be tied and blah blah and all that. So I'm going to tie what I like. So hopefully it's as close to the original as probably I would think, and it's the one I know anyway. So hook choice. Now I've tied quite a few over the years. Tied them in blind eye hooks, which is a blind eye hook is a hook without an eye. It's just a tapered eye, and use a gut, the old gut style. I've tied them like that. This is my last one, believe it or not. This is a partridge salmon hook. I think this one's a 2. Now you can't buy them anymore, but it's a nice hook. It gives a lovely shape in the fly. But that's my last one. The Alec Jackson Spey, I think, is I only wish we could get them here in the UK, but they're quite hard to get. A 3.0 is a great size, and it's very good if you want to display flies and tie on. Anyway, I'm going to quickly tie it. Now thread, basically up to yourself. I'm using a Uni 8.0 in black, so I'll just quickly wax the thread. Squeaky bobbin. Anyway, I'm going to start at the top. Now there's quite a lot to the body of this fly, and it's to give you an idea colour wise, it's a black body. I'm going to use wool for the body. Rib, there's 3 colours, 4 or 5 ribs, really. This is the old Pearsall's Marabou Silk Flosses. Now I've got obviously yellow, red and blue. I've got in this case, this is an old Tinsel I have, number 4. It's French Tinsel in silver. I've got a thin oval silver tinsel, and I've got a Spey Hackle. This is a natural black Spey Hackle. It comes from the saddle. I was lucky enough that a friend in Ireland sent me a couple of patches. These are saddles from just a cockerel, a black cockerel. These are the type of feathers just before the tail. The tail would be here. So these just hang off the side of the tail. They're very soft and mobile, and ideal for the Spey flies. I'm going to be using, this is dyed actually. This is rump feather. You could use the natural red for the golden pheasant, but this is a rump dyed red, so you get a lovely orangey colour, which I like using in this fly. For the head, the wing, I'm using a close cinnamon. I've not much left of this, but used it up over the years. It's cinnamon turkey. I'm going to be using slightly further down. It's a nice soft fibre. Got right and the left already cut. I got that many years ago. I collected turkey feathers. In the 40 years I've been tying flies, when I was tying classics, I would always, if I seen a colour or a turkey feather hanging on in a jar or so. This, as you can see, it's called Flaming Sunburst. It's a really hot orange seal's fur. It's a blend I like, and I've put this in front of on the head of this fly. So basically I think that's everything. There is quite a lot to it. Now I'm going to build it up. It's going to take a wee bit of time probably. Black thread's on. Now I'm going to take the thread down all the way to, now you could with this fly, because it's quite a big fly, normally like a Spey fly would stop in line with the pointer hook, but with this one I'm actually going to go a wee tad further. Because it's such a big body and there's a lot on it, I need a wee bit extra room, and it does suit it. So I'm going to tie in the oval tinsel first, and it's on my side, so I'm just going to quickly put it onto the hook. Make sure it's tied. Now the tinsel I'm actually going to put on the other side. So So I've got the fine silver tinsel on my side, and then I'm going to put the hackle on. Now I'm going to put that, as you can see, they're either side, so I'm going to put this in front of the oval tinsel. Now don't worry about the building up, because I like to do, this helps to build the body a bit. See where you are. Now normally when you're tying what do you call it, colours in, if you're doing say shrimp flies or anything, you would start off with the lighter colour. Lighter colour would be at the back. So if the three colours I've got here are yellow, red and blue. So it'd be yellow, red and then blue at the top being the darker. So that would be, when you're winding this up, the blue would be like the yellow would be first, would be at the back, then the red and then the blue. So that's what I'm going to do. So again, I'm just going to balance it by tying these in. So I'm going to actually just slightly in front of the silver tinsel. I'm going to catch them all at the same time, so I'm going to go yellow. Next colour will be red. I'm just going to rotate as I go, just make sure this red's on. And then blue. So that's the way I'm going to tie them in. I don't think I've seen the dressing saying tie them in a certain way. Now what I'm going to do now is basically wind down, making sure these are secure, keeping them in that order all the way down. So just make sure they stay in that order. All the way down to where I started tying in, which is there. Again, I'm just going to make sure it's secure. The body, as I say, it's just this is just wool, black wool. So I'm going to take this up, and again I'm using this to help keep things the same shape. I don't want steps everywhere. This keeps everything balanced. Just run your way down. Come back up. Okay, obviously, first thing up is my wool for the body. So I'm just opening it out as I wind. Just work your way up. Just taking your time. So twist as you basically come onto the turn to make sure you get nice flat. Obviously make sure you get enough space for the hackle. There's going to be this hackle coming up. Now usually hopefully I have 1 or 2 turns near the top. And then I've got the front hackle to go on, wing plus the head. So make sure you give yourself a good 4 or 5, a good maybe more than that. I'll have to measure it. I do have something to measure. Give me an idea and give you an idea of the area that I'm going to be working on. So millimetres, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mil. So that area, I've got 5 mil an area to work from. Now, the way this is all sitting depends on how I want to wind it up. So the last thing on was basically the flosses. So I'm going to wind the flosses up. Blue first. So I'm going to wind the blue. 2, 3. There's only 4 there because there's a lot of stuff. Now don't cut it off. Don't do that just now. Red next. You leave a wee slight space. Just to slightly separate them. And the first thing I'm going to do is just check, see how I'm sitting. Always looks different from my side. Just make sure they look okay. It's quite tight. If you put it on tight, that's what I'm doing. Again, now the yellow should be just off of that. So as we come round, we're behind the red. See what we like. Again, catch that on. 3 or 4 turns. Just make sure I wax on my thread so it doesn't unravel. Again, just checked. See how it's sitting. That looks okay. Now the rib of the salmon, the silver rib is going to be here in between on the big area. So it's just the way things work out. So we're behind the yellow. There we are. Careful when you're tying with tinsels that it will cut your thread. Again, I'm going to make sure there's a few turns there. We're starting to pile up here. See how it's looking. Now this is where you can wind your spey hackle the opposite way and then wind your rib, this one, your oval tinsel, the same way as you're winding these. That would be the common sense way to do stuff, and we'll see how it goes. I'll go the opposite way because that's what I would do if I was fishing this fly. So we cross rib over the materials. Just going to put my hackle pliers on here. Now you're not winding this we're winding this on to hold the fly together. What will hold the feather together is the oval tinsel. Just come up. Now I'm just going to lift these fibres. See how it's going to sit. Just draw them back. Now, as I say, you always got a kind of turn or two at the top here. I'm going to catch this in. Just draw this back. Now the reason I'm keeping everything on is to make sure I'm happy, because I can always go back. You see it? So we quick look, open out the fibres, keep them straight out, don't draw them back because you've got your rib to bring up, which you're going to bring up behind the silver. So it's always behind the silver. So now it's going to cross rib your spey hackle. Just going to catch this in. Just take your time, keep your fingers well away. See what we like here. Normally I usually go as quick as I can, but with these soft feathers, see what I like, that's looking okay. And there's a couple feathers there, just drawing them back. Smaller ones, just make a space for your tinsel coming through and always keep it tight. I mean, it's looking okay, I'll just keep it the way it is. So then when we get near the front, just bring it up, come round, catch it in. Good 3 or 4 turns, make sure it's secure. And then we can trim away this pile up here. So just come in, take your time. Can't go back now, so make sure there's wax in your thread. Secure this in. Just tidy the head area up. Prepare everything for your hackle. See how it looks. Now we can draw this back. Now we can encourage it back with a hairdryer, just to show you what it looks like. If I can find it, anyway. There we are. So there we are. That's the. You can see how this is how it's going to swim in the water. It just, you can see now it's laying back nicely. Obviously, the heat of the hairdryer will do that. It gives you an idea of the shape you've got. That basically worked out quite well. I can zoom in and see the body, see how if I did it quite well. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's a lot of materials in there. So there is. I'm just going back out. Don't want to get too far away. Anyway, there we are. Front hackle, as I say, I'm going to use these are rump feathers, which were originally yellow, which I've dyed. It gives you, this one is, it's a red, really. I wouldn't go too long. So we quite open the fibre. You can just lay the stem, that's fine. So we tie this in, tip first. It's great fun tying these. I mean, and when I get a chance, I do enjoy tying them. I'm just going. So I use up the full feather usually. I'll see what it's like. Just going to follow up here, and a 90-degree bend into the stem. Make sure it's secure. Bring it out, it's ready for the wing. I've got my feathers on my desk. Just going to line them up. So 2 turkey slips. These are slightly curving away from one another. Length, well, you could go quite a distance back with these, but I'm going to stick with the tips towards the end of the hook. If I was tying a spey fly, it could be even shorter than that, kind of like we're using the bronze mallard. So I'm just going to offer them onto the top of the hook. Come around a couple of loose turns, just use the bobbin holder, and then you can manipulate them a wee bit. Oops, we're a bit far from this side. Hold on. These should sit okay for you. They're quite easy enough to sit. There you go. Happy with that, just tighten up. Just double check before I trim away. Check your side. Yeah, that'll do it. Trim away. Make sure you wax your thread. Now, usually you would put wool, or kind of orange wool. Check where I am, that's fine. I'm going to use seal's foot. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to split the thread. So I'm going to put in a dubbing loop to get a nice hackle, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to spin the bobbin anti-clockwise to flatten the thread. You could put it in a dubbing loop. This is like another version. Get my needle, just flatten the thread with my needle and split it in half. Waxing it helps it to keep it open and gives you grip, obviously. Just rubbing it with the needle to make it flatter. It's just there you go. So then we get in this case my seal's fur. And it's just a collar I'm forming with a hackle or dubbing. Should do it, I think. You don't need too much. So then you want to spin it. Just spin it clockwise. Tighten up the thread again. Oh, the bobbin's dropping. Just bring it back up. And then a wee bit tighter than that, just a wee bit. And then you wind it much like a hackle, so you would basically do a turn, straight turn, draw back, anything going forward. Again, do the same again, nice and tight. A couple of fibres here I want to draw back. And then you build up the head. Totally finishes the look of the fly. It's a totally different looking fly once you do that. A couple of fibres there I've caught, so plenty of room to build up the hair of your thread. There we go. And we'll quite finish. How's it looking? Looks fine my side, I know your side, that's not too bad. And then you want a couple of coats of varnish. Oh, I can open my varnish anyway. There's a couple of wee fibres in there, but leave them, you can always pluck them out once the varnish is dry. Just in at the eye there. Allow that to dry. I'm just going to move the light so maybe you can see the body. Oh, there you go. See a wee bit better now. You can see the body there. And that's the Dallas, or just the way I like to, I've tied it. I mean, there's lots of sort of ideas and tying methods in there. It's just when you're tying classic flies, I mean, you've an idea how to tie a fly and proportion wise when you're tying your trout flies and so on. This is just a big version. The Spey style, Spey Hackle obviously helps you to this nice soft fibre. These move extremely well in the water. They can be as heavy dressed or light dressed. They could be shorter wing. There's lots of things you can do, and you can push this down in the water. It's very shrimpy like, so it's got a lot of movement. So anyway, that's what makes these flies so good to fish with, because of that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I did enjoy it myself. So again, thanks for watching. Until next time.